Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here playing Lost Records. This is Tape 2, and I'll be taking you through all of the achievements and trophies you can earn during Tape 2. I got some good news and I got some bad news, but let's just get started for now. You can start off with your first available opportunity in Scene 3. As soon as you gain control of your character, go up to your TV, give the game a second or two to allow you to interact with the VCR player, then interact with it and you'll get Screening Room to unlock. Next up, you can unlock the I See You achievement/trophy. Walk to the back of your room next to your bed, interacting with the bookshelf, interacting with the book at the bottom called Illusions. If you flip this book around, it should unlock the achievement or trophy. Some people are also saying they're having troubles with this one unlocking, though. At the top of the bookshelf, you can also find the pin screen for the Nailed It achievement/trophy. This one requires you to click all 6 of the shapes, but 3 of the shapes were available in Tape 1, and people are also reporting that their progress didn't carry over. Interact with it and make all of the shapes to see if it unlocks. If it doesn't, you'd have to play from Tape 1, Scene 19 in story mode, playing through to Tape 2, Scene 3, getting all 6 of the shapes. Now, luckily, the next achievement or trophy is going to be possible for everyone, no matter what they did or how they updated their game. This is the I'll See You Again in 27 Years achievement/trophy. Interact with the telephone on Swan's bed. And the phone number you want to call is 416-555-0175, unlocking an achievement. A lot of stuff to do in this room, the next one being the 90s Chic achievement/trophy, which asks us to change at every available opportunity throughout the entire game. In the top right corner, you'll see the 6 opportunities that you can change throughout the game, and they can't be mopped up in Collectibles mode. The consensus online is that progress also didn't carry over, so even if you did change in Tape 1, once you updated the game, you're going to have to restart it from the beginning. It's a pretty big punch to the gut to know that if you kept up with the scheduling of the game and played it as it came out, you're actually not able to get all the achievements or trophies without restarting it from the beginning. But either way, everything else in this video is possible for every player, including the Un-Unpacking achievement/trophy, which is when you interact with the box near your VCR, you have to pack the box in 3 minutes or less. I'll have a little timer on screen here. I did it in about 35 seconds. There is a little bit of like weirdness in terms of, what goes where if you want to get it perfect. But you can always reset the box by interacting with the bottom, or you're able to just restart the chapter or scene completely and try again if you need to. This is what I found to be kind of the best case scenario for me, doing it as quickly as possible. Now, obviously, this video guide assumes that you used part 1 of my collectibles guide, so we're picking up where we left off with more cat number 8 out of 9, taking a picture of the cat while it's purring on the trunk. And finally, in this room, we can grab the Dear Diary achievement/trophy. You want to, before you pick up your backpack or try to leave or anything, interact with your secret hiding spot underneath your bed from the side where you have the critter exhibit on your shelf. Here, you'll take out a small little pencil case, and all you need to do is interact with every single item in here. And once you interact with it all, you might have to unfold all of the pieces of paper and stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. But once you've interacted with all of the pieces of paper, the achievement or trophy unlocks. And for now, we're done with Chapter 3. Moving on to Scene 4, as soon as you gain control of Swan in the parking lot, there's 2 things we should grab. The first thing is the Heart Event achievement/trophy. You'll want to start, you don't have to start, but you'll want to go to the dumpster on your left-hand side and just go ahead and grab the book, which is kind of near the bottom left corner. You don't have to do it in this order, but it's just going to kind of save you a little bit of time. Take that book and then go and approach the person sitting on their car. I believe this is Pam. She's right up front. And if you interact with her, she'll mention that she lost her book. And because you already have it, you can kind of evolve this conversation into automatically giving her that book. And once you give her that book through the dialogue, you'll unlock the Heart Event achievement/trophy.
I must have dropped it with all the hubbub here last night.
From there, we can also grab Mothgirl Chronicles 6 out of 6, assuming you kept up with the first part of this video. We did the first 5. There are more opportunities for Mothgirl Chronicles later, but we can put it on the car hood, grab the picture, and we are done with this optional memoir for the rest of the game if we want to be. I do really hope that this achievement or trophy is patched in the future for 90s Chic. I think it'd make a lot more sense if it was awarded for just trying on every outfit or something. But in Scene 5, we have our second out of 3 outfit changes in Tape 2. You can enter into the building and find the clothes on the chair on the left-hand side, making sure to change them. We can then also find Terrible Toys number 6 out of 6, assuming you kept up with the first video, which showed you 5. There are more Terrible Toys later on in the game as well if you want to keep looking for them. But you can find this one hanging off the side of the boombox in the corner of the room, and that takes care of Terrible Toys for us until we're done the game. We then move on to Chapter 6, which has an achievement or trophy called Partners in Time available, and it does technically require you to have a good relationship with Autumn, but there are a lot of decisions we can do during this chapter that should unlock it either way. There's not one specific way to unlock it, but as long as you have a generally good outcome, it will unlock. I'll show you all of my decisions. I mentioned we should stick together, and then I offered to help Autumn, and when you're going to help her, the first thing she's going to ask you is for a toothbrush. Go over to the toiletries. You should hopefully know that her favorite color is purple, so her toothbrush is the purple one. We can pick that up and then return it. This is going to take place across the entire 10 to 12 minute chapter of Scene 6, so you'll just have to kind of keep going, and you can always restart the scene if you need to. Then I told her that I was glad I ran into her, and in the next conversation piece, I mentioned that you and Nora were amazing, but this was actually technically the wrong thing. She got mad at that. It's not a huge deal as there's so many good interactions that it easily cancels out the bad one here. And then she talks about a magazine. I offered to help her find it, although when you're finding the magazine, you have to return the right one or else she kind of gets mad at you. The magazine's available in a pile near the fireplace, and it's the one kind of on the far right called Highest Score. There's also like a custom-made one near the middle, which I think you can also take, but just to be safe, take the Highest Score magazine and then go give it to her. She should like this as it's the correct magazine. If you give her the wrong one, she's obviously doesn't think you're her friend. So that's kind of the opposite. And here you should ask her to take deep breaths. This will be unlocked if you wait a little bit longer. The conversation at the bar in the future would indicate that you know about the deep breath tactic. And then after the deep breaths, you want to recommend that you play a game together. Although this does take also, I think, a few seconds to show up as an option. You don't have to play the word game, but playing the word game is the best option and will help the most amount of people unlock this achievement or trophy. So for the 4 words I'm going to mention, the first one I'm going to talk about is Autumn's Sick Skater poster, located on the far right side of the room above the bed. Autumn likes this poster. It was her choice to put it here, so that is a good interaction. The next one I chose was the comfy shirt, which is available on the chair not far from the fireplace. I believe this is also a net positive decision, so we are building our way towards that positive relationship with Autumn for the Partners in Time achievement. For the third option, I chose The Way Home, which is the door to the left. She mentioned The Way Home earlier on in the conversation as one of the things she loved during the summers with her friends, so that is another positive decision. And for the fourth object, I looked over to the old bed, Older Than Us, and that is pretty much 4 out of 4 for the word game. We are helping her get through her little panic attack. Later on, you'll show her some of the footage you have on your camera, and the one you want to choose is Fawn's Curse. I believe this one is a positive, where some of the others are neutral or could be negative, and then let that play out. And then last but not least, as she's leaving, you want to kind of run up behind her and interact for the hug. This starts a little bit of a cutscene where You hug her. You can hug her earlier, but she's not really a big fan of it unless you're kind of nice to her before that. So you kind of have to do it in this order if you want like the best possible outcome. And if done correctly, the achievement or trophy should unlock nearing the end of Scene 6, as shown on screen. Scene 7 has a couple of things to do. Once you gain control of Swan here, you can grab Hazy Days optional collectible memoir. There are all 6 you can grab kind of all at once. I believe there's going to be at least 8 things you can take a picture of. You can pretty quickly find out what things count and what things don't, but just make sure you get all 6 of the Hazy Days done before you do the other thing available in this room, which I'll talk about in a second.
He'd never admit it, but I think Dad knew I'd nabbed that from his secret porn stash. He totally moved the whole box that summer. Trust me, I looked. Hey, Swan.
And also in Scene 7, we can get the 3rd out of 3 outfit changes in Tape 2 for the 90s Chic achievement / trophy. My favorite achievement in the game. That was sarcasm, but just make sure you change your outfit and hopefully it unlocks. If not, you have to play from Tape 1, Scene 3 in story mode. Play through to Tape 2, Scene 7, getting an outfit change at every possible instance, and then it should technically unlock. We then move on to Scene 8, and right near the beginning, as we kind of gain control of Swan here and are able to walk forward, we can get Prison Break, which is the collectible optional memoir. There's 5 of them. We can grab them all back to back here, called Prison Break, and start off by looking to the far left of the road to find the building behind the deer, the sculpture, and then you can also find the gate. That's going to be Prison Break number 2 out of 5. Look straight at the house directly in front of you. On the treehouse, you can find Prison Break 3 out of 5 for the treehouse itself. And then there are 2 more we can grab. One of them is going to be available by looking to the far right of the screen at the end of the road. There is yet another building. I think this one is the barn. And then the 5th one is technically a sign in the kind of front yard of the house. If you go too early, the game tries to like force you out of this area, as it just did for me. You can take the picture right now or just wait until the scene progresses a little bit to take a picture of the farm sign for all of Prison Break to be done. Another achievement or trophy we can grab during Scene 8 is called Breakfast Club, and this one is for telling Nora about the full infiltration. I believe this one is based on completing this section correctly, but also having a good relationship with Nora, which is affected by a voice dialogue near the end of this scene. You want to tell Nora to sneak to the left by the chair and then push the wagon to get Corey's attention. This is kind of the correct way to solve this. And then a little bit later on, you'll kind of meet back up with Nora, and you'll be able to use Cat to get Corey's attention, and that's what I found to be kind of the best option. We didn't get caught, and our relationship didn't suffer in any way, so this is probably the next kind of step I would recommend. I know it is possible to fail a few times in this section and still unlock the achievement or trophy, but I just wanted to kind of show off exactly what I did so that you could kind of repeat it and also be successful. So if you do get caught, it's probably still worth trying to like finish out the section to see if it unlocks, but there's a dialogue at the end that I'm going to recommend you pick as well. The kind of final sneak section happens here, as I believe this is Corey comes out onto the patio, veranda, balcony, whatever it's called, and you have to basically sneak from bush to bush as he's walking across. You also want to push your character into the bush, so like away from the screen, or else he sees you. This part's a little bit finicky, to be completely honest. If you were to look at your character, like obviously he should be able to see you, especially at that last bush, which is like only up to your waist. But that's just how this game mechanic works. Walk with him and push up to the bush, and he won't see you until you reach the very end. Now, once you do reach the end, you'll trigger another cinematic, which you could be skipping these, by the way, if you're just trying to mop these up on a second playthrough, for example. And then Nora will kind of sneak up behind you, and you guys will regroup. During this dialogue section, I highly recommend that you pick the bottom option, which is "We make a great team." This is the positive interaction, which will generate a heart. And if you generate a heart and are in good standing with Nora after the sneaking section, Breakfast Club unlocked for me. Scene 9 also has a couple of things we should be able to grab. The first thing I'm going to recommend is getting the Dead Poets Society achievement / trophy. Here you want to talk to Kat about her hair, which is pretty much automatic as the scene begins. And you want to tell her her hair looks nice. This is a net positive interaction. And then she's going to ask you if you'll help her cut it. And here there are two options. You can basically help her cut it herself, or you can cut it for her. You want to cut it for her. Select "I'll cut your hair." This is the option you need for this to be able to unlock. Now we're going to ignore the scissors and the hair cutting for a bit as that closes out the scene. When we do gain control of Swan in the bedroom, we want to grab 6 of the Cat's Birdcage optional memoir collectibles. There's like 9 or 10 different items you can take a picture of in this room. But if you just want to go quickly, there's like a bookshelf, there's something on the desk, there's some posters on the wall, some paintings on the wall. I think there are some clothing items and stuff. There's also a couple more terrible toys you can ignore. But just make sure you take at least 6 pictures to fill up Cat's Birdcage optional memoir here. If you don't fill it up and you go to the next step of this video, the next step will basically force you to end the scene. So you want to make sure you grab all of these before you do that, or you'll have to replay it from the beginning.
Sorry, I totally forget where I left that mirror.
With the Cat's Birdcage collectibles done, go ahead and grab the scissors from the closet near the window. It's underneath all of the junk. You'll move to the side. Give the scissors to Kat. You'll cut her hair for her. And then as the scene kind of wraps up, Dead Poets Society will unlock, assuming you did it correctly and have a decent enough relationship with Kat. We move on to scene 12 here, where you'll have to get a screwdriver as well as some rust remover. You'll use both of those items to gain access into the barn. I believe this is kind of a mandatory part of the game. And once inside the barn, you'll be releasing all of the deer. One of the deer is named Gertie. They have a very specific pattern, and this is also going to be Kat's favorite deer. Once you let out Gertie, make sure you look at her and interact with her to pet her to get the free spirit achievement / trophy. Now in scene 14, you can grab the Stand By Me achievement / trophy, which just vaguely says that you have to bond with all of the girls. What I did here was that I trusted Kat at the end of the scene during the dialogue, made mostly positive decisions, and kept good relationships with all of them, with all 4 of the girls at the cabin. And these decisions, it unlocked the kind of good ending of the scene and rewarded me with the Stand By Me achievement / trophy. We then move on to scene 18, and in scene 18, we are now in the future. We still have our camera, and we can grab Now and Then, numbers 1 through 6, for one of our optional memoirs here. There are also like 9 or 10 different items you can take a picture of, but just to keep things simple, you can kind of get a bunch of the stuff directly in front of you once you regain control of the character, which includes some stuff behind the bar, the dispensers, the bartender named Dusty. I think the ghost hunter, her name is Pam. The washrooms, the billiard table, there's the band stuff. Just keep taking all the pictures here until you get at least 6. You can keep going if you want all like 9 or 10 of them if you're really trying to fill up all of your books to completion. Now, once you finish the game, you may notice that you are missing one collectible memoir. That's a little bit my bad because I missed it in the first tape, but it's also beneficial for you because if you go to tape 1, scene 14, go to Collectibles mode, interact with the cat, and then the cat treats. You can take a photo of the cat for more cat 9 out of 9. This will be your final memoir collectible, unlocking that pretty big achievement slash trophy. But more importantly, for some people, this will also get you the documentary filmmaker achievement slash trophy, which is for getting a collectible in the collectible mode that you missed on your first playthrough. I'm pretty disappointed that the game requires progress from tape 1 that didn't actually count in order to get your completion, so I'm actually going to be missing a few achievements myself. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video, share it with a friend, and hopefully I see you next time. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Peace.